It is Philadelphia, and it is October, and it is 11 wins away from forever. That's how Jeff Passan closed his latest profile on Bryce Harper and the Phillies, who are yet again World Series hopefuls. In 2022, they entered October as a frisky wildcard team who scratched and clawed their way to the World Series, but fell short. In 2023, they were unstoppable until they weren't, and again fell short of a World Series championship, this time in the National League Championship Series. But now, in 2024, virtually the same group is ready to give it a third go. The team has improved each year. During the regular year, the Phillies won 95 games, bringing home their first NL East Division championship in 13 years and securing a first-round bye. Now, they'll meet their rival, the red-hot New York Mets, in the divisional series, the first time ever the Phillies and Mets have squared off in the postseason. The Mets are on fire and are playing the role the Phillies have the past two postseasons, the wildcard team getting hot at the right time. The past two seasons, the Phillies have eliminated the Braves in the NLDS, despite the Braves probably having the stronger roster. The Phillies roster is certainly stronger than the Mets this year, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is who plays better right now during this best-of-5 series. I have reason to believe it'll be the Philadelphia Phillies. They say defense wins championships, and in baseball, pitching wins championships. There were times during the season when the Phillies had undeniably the best pitching staff in all of baseball. Some injuries and some shakeups to the rotation have made that less of a sure thing, but there's been one guy who held steady all year long. He's been Philadelphia's workhorse for years now, and if you were to ask any major league manager who they want pitching in a winner-take-all game, I guarantee they'd agree on this guy, number 45, Zack Wheeler. Wheeler will likely take second place in NL Cy Young voting this season, as he did in 2021, but there's a legitimate argument for Wheeler taking home the award this season. Wheeler posted a 2.57 ERA with a National League best 0.955 whip. It's important in the playoffs to have starters who can go deep into games because it cuts down on how many pitches your bullpen arms will have to throw. Over the course of a 7-game series, deeper in the postseason, innings add up. The stronger the performance you get from your starter, the better off you are. Zack Wheeler led the National League in quality starts this season and led all of baseball in starts of 6+ innings. Wheeler made 32 starts this season, and if you exclude his 4 worst, he posted a 1.74 ERA in 186 2/3 innings pitched, which is 9 more innings than NL Cy Young favorite Chris Sale's total innings pitched this year. If you want to win in October, you need an ace. The Phillies have that in Zack Wheeler. And he's not just a good regular season pitcher. Wheels has a 2.42 career postseason ERA, and a 0.726 whip is the best in all of postseason history. Wheeler's a big game pitcher, and as if he needed any more motivation to impress in Game 1 of the NLDS, he assured us he won't forget about when he was an injured member of the Mets in 2015 and was told to buy his own playoff tickets. But the Phillies' pitching dominance doesn't stop there. Excluding the 2022 World Series, where Aaron Nola was well beyond his career high in innings pitched and was clearly gassed, Aaron has a 2.23 ERA in 40 1/3 innings in the postseason. But Nola won't be the Game 2 starter. That'll be 27-year-old Cristopher Sanchez, who will be making the second postseason start of his career. It's a strategic move by Phillies manager Rob Thompson. He referenced Cristopher Sanchez's home-road splits as well as Aaron Nola's calm demeanor as reasons for throwing Sanchez in Game 2 Sunday afternoon. Regardless of the situation Aaron Nola faces in Game 3 at Citi Field, whether he's down 2-0, staving off elimination, tied 1-1, looking to give his team the advantage in the series, or up 2-0, attempting to clinch a third consecutive NLCS berth for the Phils, we know Knowles will remain cool, calm, and collected, as he always has throughout his decade-long career, all spent with the Phillies. Additionally, Ranger Suarez got off to an incredible start this season, but after injuries and who knows what, he's found himself as the 4th starter on this team. They've also been unable to have a steady 5th starter for the entirety of the year. Taijuan Walker, despite a high price tag, has been largely disappointing to say the least. Tyler Phillips gave them a few good performances before finding his way back to Lehigh Valley. Colby Allard has been nothing special, and Spencer Turnbull still isn't fully healthy. Despite their inability to round out a strong 5-man rotation, the Phillies starters led all of baseball in WAR and complete games. They also led the NL in innings pitched. Going into the NLDS against the Mets, the Phillies should feel very confident in their starting pitching. The Phillies also went 7-3 against the Mets this year in games Taijuan Walker did not start. Walker will not be making any starts during this postseason. The back of the bullpen is loaded with talent, and their all-star duo of Matt Strahm and Jeff Hoffman, as well as flamethrower Jose Alvarado, Ryan Kerkering, lefty Tanner Banks, and likely closer Carlos Estevez. Strahm has been one of the best relievers in all of baseball this season, giving up just 13 earned runs in 62 2/3 innings. Hoffman's been right there with him, and the two of them have proven to be very reliable arms for Rob Thompson late in games. Topper relied on Hoffman in the playoffs a season ago, just for him to disappoint in the Game 2 NLDS loss to the Braves, where Hoffman was the losing pitcher. But outside of that performance, Hoffer allowed 0 runs across 7 appearances in last year's postseason. Now, a year later, Jeff Hoffman is a guy the Phillies can count on in high-leverage situations. Best case and very possible case scenario for Game 1 is Zack Wheeler gives the Phils 6 strong innings, and Thompson is able to go with a combination of Hoffman and Strahm in the 7th and 8th, and then hand the ball over to Carlos Estevez in the 9th. Estevez was an all-star in 2023 and was a trade deadline addition for the Phillies this past July. He saved 26 games this season for the Angels and the Phillies and posted a 2.45 ERA. The X factor for the Phillies bullpen this October will likely be big Jose Alvarado. Alvarado's most memorable postseason moment of his career thus far has been surrendering a 450-foot bomb to Yordan Alvarez in Game 6 of the 2022 World Series. But Alvarado allowed just 1 run across 8 appearances in the 2023 postseason. He can be erratic at times and unhittable at others. Jose Alvarado is one of the best representations of when he's on, and when he's not, you'll find in Major League Baseball. If he can locate his pitches, Alvarado will be one of the most dominant pitchers in this year's postseason. If he struggles to do so, Rob Thompson will have to quickly adjust, but there may not be enough time for that in a 5-game series. Luckily, the trio of Hoffman, Strahm, and Estevez should be more than reliable. But all of this looks good on paper. It's a shame paper doesn't matter. What matters is performance. There's all these little intangibles you can't account for, like the advantage the Citizens Bank Park crowd gives the Phillies, and conversely, the advantage the Citi Field crowd will give the Mets. But at least in that case, the Phillies' successful regular season gives them 2 home games right off the bat. The Phillies have the best home record in all of baseball this year at 54-27. Over the past 2 postseasons, the Phillies are 12-4 at Citizens Bank Park and undefeated at home in the NLDS. But there's so many other things we just can't account for by sitting here and speculating. This should be a phenomenal playoff series between 2 bitter division rivals. But I think the Phillies' pitching gives them the edge. Of course, I didn't even mention the star-studded lineup of Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto, and so on. But I think the Phillies' pitching has a distinct advantage over that of the Mets and will power the Phillies to a series win and a 3rd straight NLCS appearance. That's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed, do me a favor and leave a like on the video, subscribe for more like this, and leave a comment with your thoughts or opinions. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.